Hi.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's been a little while since we popped on, so welcome to...
Pacific Crest Tales, the podcast that metabolizes ramen into mediocre content.
It has been a lot of ramen lately.
Yeah, so much. Maybe too much.
Yeah.
Definitely too much. But more on that later.
Yeah. So where are we now?
We are in the town of Idyllwild.
In California, Southern California still.
It's a gorgeous mountain town surrounded by granite peaks and trees and overpriced gift shops. It's wonderful. It's a paradise. What have we been doing?
Well,
who have we been hiking with?
We have hiked just a shitload, so much. We've hiked 150 miles so far. We got off at mile 152 and hitched over to this town to resupply. How many resupplies have we done so far?
3? I think this is 3.
3 resupplies, yeah. And this town is great. A lot of the other towns have been tiny and terrible. Julian has been a real highlight. Julian was really pretty. We stayed a night in Julian at a hotel, and we stayed at a hotel in this one as well, because Charlotte has had a lot of trouble with her ankle and foot.
As predicted, it has not been pain-free, but that's okay. Yeah. We actually got very close to bailing from here, which is why we splurged on a hotel again. But I went to see a fantastic mobile physiotherapist. Shout out to Blaze PT.
Blaze PT, thank you so much.
And she does not. Yeah, she does not think it's reckless that I'm out here. She thinks it's maybe even good rehab for the ankle. So I've upgraded some shoes. I have some new exercises. I have a load of tape on there, and I'm feeling, if not optimistic, at least excited that we can keep going.
Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic. That's the phrase I'm looking for.
Very excited. We were extremely close to bailing, so much so that we gave all of our food away to fellow hikers.
Yes.
And so we had to do a full resupply this morning because they all left for the trail. And
with our food.
With our food. Yeah,
there's
exactly.
that food now, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Some good trail karma, and it means we can keep going. So it was a worthwhile trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of people, fellow hikers, we have been hiking with a very, very entertaining and loving group. It's been, we haven't been hiking with very many people regularly. The only person that we've been with regularly is a lovely Canadian doctor named Virginia, and she has been with us since, mile
70? No, prior to that, 50 or something. It's been a while.
Mile 50, and it's been fantastic. She's a delight. Shout out, Virginia.
Yeah. What's up, Flaps?
Yeah.
She's the only one among us who has a trail name yet.
Huge Flaps. Who else we've been hiking with?
So we should really shout out Barefoot Dylan. He is attempting to hike the whole PCT barefoot, which is wild.
It's
and we are just fascinated by his progress and his grit and his ability to push through the pain. It's pretty incredible.
He's a talented sufferer and a delight to be around. Pretty much all trail gossip revolves around him, so it's been really nice to be in his little bubble. It's been pretty funny.
Okay, what has been, because we're just rambling so far.
Yeah.
We said we'd get better at this. We haven't yet.
Yeah.
Stick with it. Maybe in 5 months' time we'll get there. But let's bring some structure to this roadshow. What has been your high point of the trail so far?
Tough call. I mean, when we got the news that you would be able to continue on the trail and that we weren't making bad decisions by being on the trail, that was pretty uplifting. That was huge.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really allowed myself to consider that we might finish, honestly, until now.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. That was big.
Yeah.
That was really big.
Pretty big deal.
And when we found a tiny baby rattlesnake and I picked it up with my pole to get it out of the way. It was really fun and cute. I loved it.
It was very cute.
What about you?
Okay. Yeah, I think my high point has to be being on the verge of bailing and going home, and then realizing that we don't have to and that we can keep going. It's just elating.
Yeah.
And to just have validation from a medical professional that it's not a completely stupid idea to be out here.
Yeah.
That the ankle has healed enough and it's getting stronger.
Yeah.
And that the trail might even be good rehab for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's just fantastic news.
Yeah.
Okay, what has been your low point of the trail so far?
with the exception of empathizing with the pain that you've been in, the low point for me personally has been I have been incredibly sick for the last 8 days probably, to the point where coughing has kept me awake. And if I got
awake.
yeah, sorry.
It's a small space.
6 hours a night has been a good night. So it's on its way out though now. I got 8 hours the last 2 nights, which is fantastic, and I'm feeling much better. But it was pretty rough for a while. Yeah. And what about you? You haven't had anything to complain about, have you?
No, it's been sunshine and rainbows every day, yeah. I think it's just been the combination of discomforts. Like, it's kind of totally feasible to push aside 1 or 2 different discomforts, but when it's like ramping up to 4 or 5, it gets a little tough. Yeah. So I had the ankle pain, plantar fasciitis pain. I had some bad blisters, which I've never really had to deal with before. That was fun. One of which got a little pussy for a while there, but we
charmingly so.
We dealt with that. And then I got Joe's sickness. So the combo was a bit of a tough sell for a few days there.
You're not through the woods on the sickness quite yet.
For those of you who know me well, which is probably everyone watching, because God knows why you're watching. If
we have a razor thin audience.
Yeah. You can maybe hear it in my voice. I'm not out of the woods. And actually, I'm just going to pop off camera and snuffle for a second. Yeah. I'll be right back. We're on a tent. I'm not going far.
Another interesting low point has been how bizarrely hypersocial the trail is, and how hard it is to get alone time and time. Well, A, to do this podcast, and B, to just like chill and observe nature in a quiet way. Because you're either hiking or socializing all the time, and I guess I underestimated how intense that would be.
Yeah.
But we'll get better at like drawing boundaries and telling people to F off.
And it's difficult because everyone is lovely.
I know, everyone's really nice.
It's not that you don't want to talk to people.
Right.
It just becomes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, moving on. What has been your biggest gear failure so far?
Gear failure so far, let me think.
Or gear disappointment. It doesn't have to be a failure. Because I don't know if we've had any failures.
Yeah, no huge failures yet. The biggest gear disappointment is my sleeping pad, I guess, because in an attempt to go ultralight, I chose the same sleeping pad that you have, and we are very different sized people.
Yeah, we are.
And so it's like sleeping on the top of an anvil sometimes, and if I roll in any one direction, I'm done for.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
We'll upgrade at some point.
It's nice while we're hiking, which is what we're doing most of the time.
That's true, yeah. We do hike more than we sleep these days. So,
that is definitely true.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Mine has to be my tiny paint set that I was so proud of in the last video.
Yeah.
I made the paint set before I thought about what brushes and water solution I was taking, and I brought the kind of brush that doesn't really allow you to like mix paints. It's kind of like one and done situation, because you don't want to put waste like watercolor water into the earth, because it contains like heavy metals and stuff that would be very bad to leave around the place. And I didn't put any green in my palette at all, so I've just been using a layering approach to painting, which is not going that well, but it's a fun challenge, I guess.
It's a charming variety of browns, and I find it really, really good.
Moving on. What's been your favorite piece of gear that you've packed on the trail, or the thing you're like most psyched on using every day?
It's got to be the quilt, I think. The quilt that is in frame right there.
Oh yeah.
Katabatic, Allsec 22 degree. It's an absolutely phenomenal quilt, and the quilt system suits me really well because it's like fastened to the pad, and I toss and turn all the time. So that's been my favorite, I think.
Nice.
And I just feel warm every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you?
I didn't queue up an answer for this. Once again, poor prep work. I should give the people an update on that dope fleece, though, that I introduced in the first episode. The fleece is doing great. Yes. It's getting compliments on trail. That's why I'm out here, just to look cool, you know? So,
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yeah. That's great. I am killing it. And also my haircut. I don't think it counts as gear, but you'll notice I have less hair than in the last video. It feels amazing. It is ultra light. It dries in a heartbeat, and I get lots of head scratches, so I'm pretty stoked on the haircut.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
What is next on our list It is nature sightings.
Oh, yeah.
You touched on this a little bit, but what other cool things have we seen?
So we saw a baby rattlesnake. We saw decapitated adult rattlesnake, which
was so macabre.
It was really intense.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what had decapitated it. If anyone has any ideas, let us know in the comments.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then a really entertaining one was we were night hiking for the first time, and to try to escape the heat. And along the trail, there are lots of little burrow holes everywhere. And you assume, probably every 100 feet, there's probably a couple dozen. And you assume that they're rodents or lizards or something. But we found out one night when we were night hiking that it's a tarantula hole. And that at night, tarantulas come right out. We saw one, and now when we see those holes, we call them Tammy the tarantula holes.
Or T-holes.
T-holes for short.
Yeah.
And they are just fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
so
they are.
It's crazy how many tarantulas are probably around.
Trying not to think about it too much because I might bail if I think about it for long enough.
You think about the ocean of tarantulas that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
hiking over?
Yeah, gross. We've also seen lots of horny toads, which are
very cool.
Awesome. Lots of quails, which I just have a huge soft spot for because they're kind of a little chaotic and just adorable. I love them. Some garter snakes, tons of prickly pear cacti, which are very cool. And we found our first forage of the trip, which was this leafy green called miner's lettuce. It was abundant by this creek that we camped by one night. And we ID'd it on our phone because we had service, and made a little salad in a Ziploc bag with some lemon and olive oil.
We made a huge salad.
And with some dead nettle and some false London rocket that we foraged as well. It was great. It was the best meal of the trip so far.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm so desperate for greens.
Yeah, foraging fresh vegetables should be a big move.
Yeah.
Moving forward. And then I guess nature also, the scenery has just been so gorgeous so
really
far.
Has.
The desert has not felt very barren. It's been really lush with a lot of really intense, robust shrubbery all over the place, but just covered in so much flora and fauna. There are hundreds and hundreds of lizards every 5 steps. There's little tiny lizards all over the place, and there's just so much to appreciate. It's so gorgeous.
The desert had a really high rainfall this winter, and so we are in what they call a super bloom spring. So we got very lucky. Tons of flowering cacti, just huge agave, huge cacti. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Super beautiful.
This section has been way less of a dreary slog than I expected it to be. It's stunning. I really like it down here.
So what's the plan going forward? What are we doing next?
I think
you can tell the people while I blow my nose again.
We'll hike every single day for the next 4.5 months, I think. Now that we know that Charlie's doing good things, we'll try to tighten up the budget again, not go to as many hotels.
Oh, yeah.
And just try to do the exercises that you're doing and keep getting stronger every day. And
I have a foot exercise program that I'm meant to do every 2 hours, so we're going to set an alarm while we're hiking. We're also we're right next to Mount Jacinto right now, which is quite snowy and had a hurricane a little while ago, so there's lots of trees blown down across the trail, and so the PT's recommendation was maybe skip that section that's going to be a little rough on the ankle.
While it's still getting stronger.
While I'm still working through the pain. So we're going to try and hitch a ride up to I-10 and hop back on after that section of rough trail.
So we'll be skipping around 50 miles of trail, which is a bummer, but if it means we can keep going, then it's obviously
totally
super
worth it. Yeah. It's also going to be very cold up there in the next few days, so I'm not heartbroken to not be up there. Yeah. And then my personal plan going forward is to try and eat as much fiber on trail as possible because, as predicted in the last video, the snakes are not that happy. So I have rice and tuna, and I'm going to try and eat as many nuts and oats and things of that nature as possible because trail food is absolutely brutal. Yeah. Although we did get, so there's hiker boxes in every town. When people resupply, they often get more food than they need, and they leave the excess in these boxes, which is so much fun. It's like going to Goodwill, but everything's free. And we've gotten a lot of fantastic wins out of the hiker boxes. We've got medication that we need. We got one Ziploc full of food that just says winner, winner, chicken dinner on it. And so I'm extremely excited.
No idea what it is.
I'm guessing it's chicken based. And
Fair
maybe
enough.
dinner based.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Might be dinner based.
We'll
yeah.
report back. We'll make sure we eat it before the next episode, and we will report back on that. Yeah.
Episodes will be becoming more regular as well because we are.
We'll try.
Yeah, we'll try.
No promise.
Because now that we know we're continuing.
Yeah, I think the uncertainty around bailing kind of dampened the enthusiasm for the podcast. But now we're back with Psych, and we promise you just pure gold content. No, but content.
All right. Thanks very much. Talk to you guys
Remember
soon.
to like and subscribe.